Global Socialpreneurs is brought to you in part by Positive Talk Radio, KKNW 1150 AM in Seattle. Check them out at www.positivetalkradio.net.
Welcome to Global Socialpreneurs, a one-of-a-kind talk show showcasing expert social entrepreneurs. Learn their stories and their secrets to creating a sustainable impact. Now, here are your hosts, social entrepreneurs Ann Scottlin and SHAMETRIA Gonzalez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Global Socialpreneurs. We're so glad you joined the show today. Thank you for watching. Hello, SHAMETRIA.
Hi, Ann.
Hi. I love that we got the blue message. It was a secret, but now everything is like all blue today. So it must mean something good. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You know that we are working hard to expand the global conversation around social entrepreneurship. And we have a variety of amazing people from around the world on as guests and find out how they are using social entrepreneurship to solve social problems and make a difference. And but before we get started, anything special you want to share, SHAMETRIA? Are you ready to go?
No, I am just excited. And me and you both were in California, so I'm glad that the storm has passed and we are able to get back to business.
I know, right? So good. So good. Wonderful. All right. So I'm going to introduce our special guest for today. I've been looking forward to having on the show for a while. And her name is Ashley Tresoline. And I'll just share her bio with you. After being diagnosed with MS over 10 years ago, Ashley Tresoline committed her life and work to promote clean eating and overall health. Ashley is a social entrepreneur who uses her profits from her business, Bella Foods, to allow her to educate children in underserved communities about nutrition and fun cooking. She is a food, wellness, and nutrition coach who helps companies and individuals celebrate healthy food and how to make it. So please help me welcome Ashley.
Hi, guys. So excited.
Hi. So nice to see you as well.
Yes.
So you have had, you've got some fun, busy things going on this summer with Bella Foodie, and just going to ask you to tell us a tiny bit about what's going on in your business, and then we'll move into the social entrepreneur part.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So this summer we have started working on our show. I have actually a show that I stream, Food for Life, and we have some big changes coming up this fall and some amazing guests from around the world, and I'm so excited about. I've been working with clients all summer about being healthy, staying healthy, how vacations cannot have to change being well and healthy as well. We're getting some programs together for kids for the fall that I'm so excited about, that I can't wait to share with them.
Amazing. Okay. So cool. So share with us a little bit about your story, just how, what happened when you got your diagnosis and how that shifted your professional choices.
Well, I got my diagnosis at 21. So I was still finishing college and I didn't really know what I wanted to be. When I got sick, I had just started college and it took a few years for them to diagnose me. So because of that, I didn't know what my future was going to look like. It went from, everyone has those traditional, we have our 5-year plan, our 10-year plan, those things they make you make. And then my life became a gigantic gray area. So I didn't even know at 19 when they first started testing me for things, like I didn't even know if I was going to have a future.
Wow.
So because of that,
Ashley, I have a question for you for our listeners out there. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was going to say, for our listeners out there, before you go too far, can you please explain what is MS?
Sure. MS is an autoimmune disease that attacks the nerves and the myelin coverings in your body. So it's basically like if you think of a wire, you know how it has that like coating around it? And if it's exposed, it's like shocking and things. Well, basically my body's doing that. along any place there's nerves and things all in my body. So my body never got the signal that it shouldn't attack that. It should protect that and get it healthy. There's a lot of other complicated things that come with my disease, but that is basically the gist of the whole thing.
What are the challenging symptoms of MS?
Right now, like I have balance and cognitive issues. I have sleep problems. I have lesions on my brain and spine, which cause pain. I'm in pain all the time. I'm actually a little fidgety because I've been standing all morning cooking for clients. So I'm sorry for that.
Fidget away. You're in fidget company here. I'm always getting myself in trouble because I'm like waving my hands around.
I think that's the Italian in me. Like I've been like so cognizant of not talking with my hands as much, like when I'm on TV or something. But yeah, it's been a long time and I've learned how to manage my pain. I've learned how to manage some of my symptoms. I get fatigue. So in the afternoon, I have a tendency to get a little tired before dinner kind of time. But I've been doing better. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Well, that's really good. So when you finally did get your diagnosis, then what led you to pursue the career you're in now? Or what was your personal experience at that time?
So as I got diagnosed and I had to figure out what my future looked like, I was really concentrated on how does your body function? Like, where does it function? Where does it become healthy? Like, what are the systems I need to support it? Whether it be food or movement or this. And when I was really, really sick and I could barely eat, I got really obsessed with food, which is really weird. But I've heard of like cancer patients that go through chemo and they can't eat. They like start watching food shows. It's kind of the same theory. I studied about how food can help inflammation in the body, how the body moves, and like if you have arthritis, then celery can help you. Like people don't know these things, or how certain spices can help your digestion. And these are things that have been around for many, many years. And I don't think we focus enough on this. And if we started when we were younger, we may actually have a shot. I mean, cooking, I'm Italian. Cooking is literally the biggest thing my family does. My grandmother's always worried about feeding us. Like we finish one meal, she's worried about what we're having for dinner.
I love it. And I think it's such a beautiful thing because for myself right now, I am looking at losing some weight. And that's really the only time that I become conscious of food. But when it comes to our health, like you said, digestion, the way we feel, the energy, like I think that the fact that you're able to take that and help yourself heal, was that a part of that process? Was it like healing for you? Or you literally was just like, no, I just want to eat good foods. Like that's what I'm trying to like get right now is that consciousness of how does food heal me? How does it help me in a space to where I'm feeling better, not just losing weight?
So everyone's a little different. Like, I mean, for you, sugar might be a problem or carbs might make you feel not great. Where it's for me, I need carbs in my diet. It's just something that works for me. But we also need to be more in tune with what our body needs and what our body feels. Because like, if you're looking to lose weight, you might realize that, oh, if I have too much of this, my body starts to put on weight. But if I have a lot of this, I feel good and have energy. So being in tune with how we feel when we're eating is also a big thing. I always say people become healthy from the inside out. And that's true because like there's people that run marathons or lift weights all the time and they die of things like heart attacks or they have aneurysms or things that like, you know, high blood pressure, things that you're like, why does this person have high blood pressure? They run all the time or they do this and you're sitting there going, but they must be healthy. Well, guess what? They run and they work out all the time, but they forget to fuel their body properly. So the inside mechanisms are fighting back.
Wow. And I relate to this in so many ways. Fortunately, I grew up with a really healthy habit family. But, you know, in my college years, I struggled with my weight and but my parents were the freaky healthy ones, you know, like they were always so annoying. My mom was always skinnier than me. It was just so annoying. But over time, I realized, you know, even the way I grew up, which happened to be vegan, was not necessarily the perfect fit for my body. Now I'm still vegetarian, but I do eat dairy and eggs because I find that my body is okay with that in limited amounts. So I have learned weird things, though, what you said, Ashley, about finding what really works for you. So if I'm eating, realize I do not feel there's a one size fits all. And that's what I love Ashley, because she customizes stuff for everyone.
Yes.
So let's say I grew up on whole wheat bread. Okay. Like that's all the bread that was ever allowed in our house. So, but if I eat a couple pieces of whole wheat bread, I feel terrible. But if I eat, I have this tiny little spoon that I use. It's like this big. If I eat a tablespoon and a half of butter straight, which I actually crave, I don't have any bad feelings later. I don't feel bloated. I don't have acid. Whereas the toast would have given me all that. So it's just so funny. So I'm just getting rid of the conveyors of calories and I just eat the calorie part. But I mean, but it's everyone's different. So you kind of find, what makes you feel bloated? What makes you feel energized? So we always grew up thinking, my mom was a home economics teacher. So she was, educated in nutrition, but that was from the era where, carbs were like the number one thing you eat.
Yeah.
And we've always been taught that carbs are energy. But when I eat a lot of carbs, I have very little energy. And when I eat less carbs, I have more. So go figure, right? And I know Ashley knows all the reasons behind all these things, but I'm just sharing in attesting to what Ashley is saying, how it is so an individual thing and really listening to your body, right, Ashley?
Yeah, it is. Carbs also turn into sugar in your body. So, I mean, I'm not saying like an entire plate of carbs is what you need, but having some of them and balanced, healthier carbs in your diet are okay. I mean, any diet that says you can't have anything, unless a doctor tells you you're going to die or you have a food allergy, if you have it, then there's no reason you should be cutting it out. Like if you have diabetes or something, or if you're allergic, obviously, yes, don't eat it. It's not going to help you in any way.
Yeah.
But you need to find different ways and combinations of things that work for you. You also need to enjoy what you're eating. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. It also doesn't mean that you can't have that drink every now and then, or like my friends, I always tell people it's really funny. My friends know that in the door of my refrigerator, I keep dark chocolate because usually a square or two just satisfies like my sweet tooth, and it's non-dairy, like high quality dark chocolate. And sometimes that's just my dessert for the day, or if I'm really stretched, occasionally my afternoon little snack, depending on how my week is going. But my friends will go in the door of my refrigerator and pull stuff out when they come to visit.
Nice. So Ashley, one of the things that our listeners always are kind of puzzled with, and I think that really serves them when we have guests come on, is social entrepreneur is a word that Anne is phrasing all around the globe, and I love it. But most of the people are like, well, how did you make that pivot? You went from first educating yourself, getting yourself healthy, changing your lifestyle, feeling better, looking great. And then you said, you know what, I want to take these proceeds and help individuals, specifically underserved children in less fortunate areas. What was that moment like, and how did you start?
Well, I teach cooking classes for kids and adults, but I also started with thinking like healthy food shouldn't be something that you don't have access to. So I've worked with different charities in the area, teaching classes in their summer programs or doing other things. But now we're launching a full-blown program with a charity here, or well, a nonprofit, I guess. It's not technically. And it's a bunch of preschools in the area and like grade schools. They do after school programs and things like that. So we're starting at one location. We're going to be planting seeds. The kids are going to research about them and grow them over the winter. And then it's going to move outside. And then we're going to do some things with the stuff we grow and cook and do all kinds of fun stuff. And hopefully they'll be able to take some of it home if we grow things right. Like, look, I kill things. So I only know the basics. I'm praying to God with the help of everyone that's putting the program together, we don't kill anything.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. And how did the kids enjoy learning about cooking? what age group are they again? Did you say preschool?
I start from age 4 and I go all the way up to 100. If you want to come to my classes, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do kids, do they find it interesting? Do they get engaged? How is that?
They do. I mean, some of them take it so seriously and they're like wanting to listen to everything. And other kids, they just want to stir and mix and eat it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I do teach things depending on the level. Like, we talk about flaxseed and seeds and things, and that they're the stuff that's in cereal. And it's, where does it come from? Do you know what this looks like? I have them smell, touch, taste. Like, it's more about the senses at 4 or 5 years old. And then they just want to play with everything. Mm-hmm. But if I can get them eating something healthy or liking a different vegetable or fruit that they don't normally do, and the parents are grateful they have another recipe they can make with the kids, and the kids want to make it with them, they'll start being more engaged in food.
That was going to be my next question, is what advice do you have for parents? Like myself, I never was really taught, how to cook or what was nutrition or what was, so I've been on this journey with food my whole life. My weight is up and down. And so my kids as a byproduct are like, I can't do everything. So I think the fact that you're going into schools and helping, and like at a young age, like 4 to 7, oh my God, like that is so impressionable. So I guess, do you have any like recipes or anything online? How can they like connect with you? What's the best way that you serve? I know through the school is one, but like, let's say my kid doesn't go to that school, but I want my child to come. Is there like YouTube or anything? How do you get that information out?
So we do have a bunch of recipes on our blog and media clips of me like demonstrating some of them. We are working on getting just like virtual classes people can download to do. But I also offer virtual classes for people. Like, you can just email me and we can set up like this. But we'll be set up in the kitchen and you'll be set up in your kitchen, and we can go through a recipe together. I send you the instructions of like what we'll need, and we go through things. And you also learn to adapt. Like, if you don't like something in the recipe, then we won't put it in, or we'll change it to an ingredient you do like. And sometimes learning together as a family, like I've done family classes, is really fun for a family. Like, they're either learning a new type of cuisine or they're learning a new skill together, and it's creating memories. So if you and your kids want to learn a class together, then that's a really amazing thing.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I love that. So getting together time, and then also learning these healthy habits. And especially for children in underserved communities, it's so educational and so important for them to know about the healthy things. Because as we all know, and some of us have been different places in our journey over the course of our lives, when money was tight or when kids, often we end up eating, the cheapest foods rather than the most nutritional foods. Now, that's also a fact of life, because it's cheaper to, and sometimes to, get a hamburger out of fast food than to go buy a bunch of flaxseed and fresh produce at the farmer's market, right? But educating them so they know that there's differences and understand that food can be fun, understand how it's made and what's healthy. That's something they'll remember for life. And I just love that. There's kids you're working with, and, some of those, they will go their whole life with an impression or a memory that will affect their health for the rest of their life, thinking, no, I should eat my vegetable, or I should, because it wasn't just mom that told them.
It was somebody else. There's also, I want to say something if I can. So you're talking about people in low income areas. Our farmers markets here, I don't know where you live, but check them out wherever you are. They do accept WIC, which is our version of food stamps here in Massachusetts. Every state's a little bit different, but most of the farms will accept them. And a lot of the farm stands are now accepting them. So to a point. So you may be able to get fresh vegetables and things.
Wow.
It's amazing. Like parents who would just not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So do you have some kind of take-home information for the parents after the fact? It sounds like you give them recipes or other things. And
give them cooking recipes, like whatever we made in class, I give them, and then a few tips of what they can do. And then usually I just send, like, if you want to do virtual classes or in person, if you live nearby, we do that. If they want to further the kids' education. I've had kids I've had for months, years, that want to do private lessons in their home that are nearby because like their whole family wants to get involved. I love it. I have so much fun. I think I have more fun than the kids sometimes.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's incredible. So just to swing back for a minute to your own lifestyle, and can you describe for our viewers what you mean when you say clean eating? What does that mean? Because for some people who don't know, that might sound already intimidating, like, oh God, I'm not eating just carrots for the rest of my life. So what does that mean to you? How do you describe that?
I mean, clean, wholesome ingredients. Like, if you read the box of like crackers in the grocery store and it has words you cannot understand, and it's full of gums and fillers and things, or it sounds like it should be in a cleaning product, you should not be eating that.
Okay.
And I mean, like, we have busy lives. Yes, you're going to eat crackers and you're going to bring, you know, I found a cereal that for the mornings I'm super busy that has 4 ingredients in it. And that is something that, you know, sometimes when I don't have time to make myself breakfast, I throw that and some blueberries in a bowl and call it a day.
Nice.
That's amazing. That's so super. Yeah, I get that. That sounds clean. So the least processed food possible.
Yeah.
The closer to whole and even closer to fresh as possible. So nothing wrong with a dried apple, but if you can eat a fresh one, that's even better because you got all those live enzymes and everything else working for you.
No added sugars, no added anything. Everything has to be natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, life happens and we do our
Yes.
best.
But that is why some people, and I'm sure some of the adults you work with and coach, you know, realizing like the difference. Now, I'm not saying that one is always better than the other, but a fresh smoothie from fresh produce, depending on what that produce is, or fresh juice you make, as opposed to something powdered that came out of a can for a smoothie, has benefits. Like it might be less concentrated protein, but you're getting so much real living food. So it's just amazing, I'm sure, to share with people and see the things that surprise them.
It is. It's really funny, the things that I share with people and the things that you're like, it's so simple. Why didn't I think of that? Like, you're talking about smoothies. I tell people, so you have a little extra from the farm stand, or you went a little crazy with what was on sale at the grocery store, cut it up and put it in a reusable bag or freezer thing. You got frozen fruit that you can throw in with whatever liquid you like in the morning, throw it in your blender. You already have your smoothie, or you let the kids pick it and then they have their smoothies for before school.
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius. Okay, I'm going to do this. I have 6 plums left and they're getting really ripe and I can't eat them all. So I'm going to take the pits out, cut them in half, put them in a freezer bag and freeze them.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I don't know if this is a New England thing. My mom's from Massachusetts. So, but we sometimes in the winter, we would eat stewed fruit, like hot fruit. So I don't know if that's a thing, but, you know, like something like frozen plums, throw in a few other fruits and dried fruits or whatever. You can eat it like applesauce or any number as a dessert. So that's fun. Okay, I'm going to freeze my plums.
Oh, no, that's okay. What I was saying was what's really interesting through all of this, for social entrepreneurs, most of the time, the thing is, how do they get into the game? How do they give back? It seems that you really didn't have to go too far out of what it is that you already love doing and what you were doing for yourself. You partnered with a local not-for-profit to give your time. And I think you're probably one of the first people that I've heard. Everybody always has their thing that they do, but it's that simple. If, you know, I don't know what made you like, oh, let me just go give my time. But that shift, it's so easy for individuals that are business owners that have this skill set or that have something to just donate their time. How was that process for you when you first started? Like, did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Just so people can get ideas, especially the entrepreneurs that listen to our show, how they can get started. Like me and Ann say it all the time, it's so easy. You just have to do something, put your mind to it. And when people like yourself come on the show and give ideas, it sparks another person who can do that. And that's what we want to do with this show. So I'm really interested to see like what made you do that, like start.
So I was around, I met the head of one of the not-for-profits I'd met. I
Uh-huh.
worked with originally, and they were looking for people to just teach for their summer program for some older kids. And it was giving of your time, and it was only for like 2 hours in the summer. And I'm like, I can do that. That's like not a big deal. And if it makes something helpful for these kids, why not? And I donated that. And then I started working with them more and more. Then we have our local Boys and Girls Club. I work with them. I hold classes there. I do all kinds of work I can there. I donate to their auctions. I do whatever I can.
Wow.
And then now I'm working with Square One, and I've worked with Girls Inc. in all kinds of places. Anything that can help people get forward. And they're all here in my community. They all sponsor things. They're all at events I go to. Just start talking and finding out what's in your community. I mean, if you just see it and look around, I mean, it's so easy. Even if you see a news story on your local news, you might be able to be like, hey, I'll just look them up and get in touch. And any local Boys and Girls Club is always happy with any help they can get.
I love that.
That's amazing. Wow. And I like to clarify on that too. So in what makes this a social entrepreneurship is that, as we've talked about before, and as we talk about in our mastermind and other things, there's such a wide range of descriptions around social entrepreneurship. So basically, this is how I would describe Ashley's, which is she promotes and conducts her business in order to have enough funds that she needs to run her life so that she can donate time instead of funds. So that's a principle that is really useful. So if she worked 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and had no time to give back, then she, that's changing. So it's like, how can she work just enough hours, make the money that she needs, and then some, and then be able to go spend that time, which is really a gift, because a lot of people think they can only give money. But giving time and setting up your business that way is amazing. And it's a really good way for Ashley to promote her own business. Hint, because I just looked at your website again this morning, like the work you're doing for the community, especially because you're mostly community based in many ways. You do work remotely too, but is one, such an important part of most social entrepreneurships, being that they're really helping someone at their local level in an area they understand. And two, this should be on like every tab of your website. There should be something that talks about how my social entrepreneurship is helps by educating preschool children in nutrition in underserved communities. My social entrepreneurship helps Boys and Girls Clubs. So that people know whenever they do business with you, they're contributing to such an incredible movement and such an incredible sharing that you're doing.
You need to tell my marketing team to update my website then.
Yes, Ashley, that because it's your why. There's so many competitive businesses out there right now, and I think that we're in this space of just confusion, and so people are scared about recession. They're scared about the currency. They're scared about inflation, and I think having some type of small businesses because when there's so many competitors and they know, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is the why behind it, it wipes out everything else. Like if there's 5 people and the other 4 are doing this, but there's one that has this initiative and they're doing this great work for the community, it pulls on your heartstrings, so it's just something that, at least for myself, I think it makes me feel better about something that I'm doing that I have to already do. I have to know what to eat. I have to care about my health. I have to learn nutrition. And this is where I think people are going towards, and all of this uncertainty, anything they can have certainty in, it brings them clarity, and clarity is power. So I just think, for yourself, the work that you do is amazing. And even for myself, I met you in Washington.
Yes.
We've had a conversation, but now that I know more about you, my heart thing is like, oh, as if just by supporting Ashley, I'm supporting another social justice initiative. I'm supporting another cause. I'm supporting preschool kids. I'm supporting, kids in the inner city that are in food deserts, right? Because you help out in all those areas. So at least for me, you got me. I'm definitely going to reach out and see, maybe we can do a cooking class or something like that. But it's because of your why and what you're doing as a byproduct.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, thank you both. We're going to have to wrap up in a minute, but I will ask, this is usually Shametria's question, but I'll just throw it out there, which is one thing that we love to ask our social entrepreneurs is, because they're busy people doing very many busy things in their business and as well as, in the social aspect to give back. What do you do to take care of yourself? What is your, what do you do for your personal wellness? What makes you feel good? What do you make sure that you take time for out of your busy schedule so that you can continue giving back?
Actually, it's a recent thing. I have a new thing that I really love. I've been going to acupuncture, actually.
Wow.
And I could never think in a million years I'd be willing to let somebody stick me with needles because I'm terrified of them. But after all the years of getting poked with them, but I'm loving it. It's the first time in my life that I was ever been able to like completely quiet my mind.
Wow.
So right now, that's my like self-care thing that I'm absolutely loving.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you. And that's the first time I think we've had that one, Shametria. I love that. Yes.
Which type of acupuncture are you getting?
Oh, there's different types. I didn't know. Okay. He does more of a like shiatsu body work, and then he does needles and the dry needles and stuff. And he like burns this tea over them and makes me listen to frequency music and relax with them. And
that sounds like a dream right now. And my back hurts today. So I'm like, okay, I'm sold. But thank you for sharing that, because that's what we like. Everyone's going to find something, and all of our guests who share something kind of, pushes a button like, I could try that, or something similar to that, to just relax and recenter and get grounded, because it's so important to create sustainable change and to maintain the energy of a social entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is taking good care of ourselves too. Well, we're going to wrap up. I want to thank you so much, Ashley, for being here today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy I was able to come.
Yay. And Shametria, as always, so lovely to see you, my co-host, my friend. And we'll catch up maybe right after this.
Yeah.
And for all of you, please keep tuning in here. We stream on Wednesdays at, let's see, got to get this right, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. So tune in, check us out. You can go to globalsocialpreneurs.com to find more about the show and more about our work. You can look in the notes to find out more about Shametria and myself, and reach out to any of us anytime. And if you know anyone who would be an amazing guest on this show, or if you know a sponsor who would like to help sponsor the show, so we have some really affordable packages, and we would love all the help we can get to share this good conversation with the world. So thank you all. Be well, be kind to others, and be kind to yourself. See you next time.